So today I'm going to go over some big news, some things that are happening in my garage. I'm just going to go over the lay of the land, some of the things that I've done for organization, and then I'll tell you what the surprise is in a minute. So my garage is, let's see, I think it's 34 wide by 20 feet deep. Sorry for the dog noises. I've been doing, been doing some things over the years to organize all the stuff that I have in here. Got some wooden rack shelving here that's mounted on the wall. This was an early iteration because it was painted black. I got another one here, not painted. That's going to be a project for the summer, is to just take down some of the racks that I have made that aren't painted and paint them black just for aesthetics. This corner here had a bunch of random things. I had my practice hood here. I've moved it behind the shed. My compressor pretty much lives there. I didn't have anything on the walls, so last week I went to Lowe's and I got the, what do they call this, fast track system shelving. So there's one set there. These are 4-foot sections, and this is a 3-foot section. Funny thing, this is the 3-foot section, and it's a different color. Same line, just different color. I wish these racks were this darker color, but whatever. So I'm sure this is subject to restructuring at some point. Things come and go and go in different places just for optimization. I'll back up, hold on. This is a rack that I built a while ago. I have a ton of just individual tools here. I have tap and die sets, just, bulbs, grinder, a Dremel, brake compressor, just a bunch of random things kept in the cases and organized them. This is my drill holder, impact gun holder, some charging ports. There's a battery charger under there. So just trying to keep it as organized as possible. This was a bench that I made a few years back. I made this top. This is, 20 2x3s that were glued up to make a butcher block. Rolling cart here with some shelves for these Stanley organizers, which I do like. They're all labeled. I have some of my reloading equipment, plumbing, electrical. I think I have some housewares on the other side. It is winter, so the heater's out. This is my upside down bucket table that I use when I drink coffee in the morning, sit in this chair, and watch this itty bitty television. This here is a Harbor Freight tool cart, which is awesome for the money. What else? These cabinets I'm pretty proud of. I bought these cabinets here, wall cabinet, upper cabinet, and one more here. I bought these off Craigslist for like $50. And then I made the doors. Pretty simple. Nothing fancy. I don't even think they're finished on the inside. But I got this red matched at Sherwin-Williams to match the tool cart, and that's been kind of my theme. This is a Husky cabinet. I use this pretty much to hold all the detailing supplies. I keep the buffing pads in here too. The idea is I just want to keep them as dust-free as possible. This is not a flame retardant cabinet, but I do have some solvents down at the bottom, so I don't expect any issues from those. Here, of course, is my GT350 2017. I have my Craigslist find of the millennium, which is my Danmar Max Jack 2-post lift, which I never planned on getting, but here it is. It's paid for itself. It's worth every single penny, whether you buy it new or used. I love it, and I couldn't imagine my garage without it. So I just recently mounted the pump drive system on the wall. That cleaned up some floor space, and I think that was the whole objective, was to clean up the floor as much as possible. This was much more cluttered here, but I'm looking to keep this open. I do have a shed out back, which I am looking to maybe do a little better job organizing in the summer, just to clean up the garage. This rack I just emptied yesterday. I'm gonna sell that, it's worth a couple of bucks. I have my Comet Static 1700 wall mounted pressure washer here. I consolidated my water deposit bottles in a rack, which went from this 3-foot rack to a roughly a 1 foot by 1 foot footprint. So that cleaned up a lot of space too, and that might get moved over here eventually after this gets cleaned up. This is just Christmas stuff that will be, removed and put back in the attic after the holiday season. Okay, so the big news is today is Saturday. I was expecting shipment on Monday, but I got notified this morning that my order is out for delivery, and I finally pulled the trigger on Swisstrax flooring. I am pumped, I'm excited. I think it's gonna set the garage off. I spend a ton of time in here. When I'm working in the summertime at my day job, I have a nice space here where I sit here, maybe I smoke a cigar while I'm working, leave the garage door open, fresh air, birds chirping, some heat, just a nice all-around experience. So here, I'll bring you in here and I'll show you the design that I chose. So again, garage is 34 wide. Let me put my glasses on, hold on. Let me get you a little more centered. Okay, garage, 34 width, 20-foot depth. This is the Swisstrax flooring designer, which is pretty simple to use. Did a really good job of simulating my garage for the most part. I mean, my garage walls are painted like a dark battleship blue-gray, and that scheme was available here. Put 2 windows, which represent the 2 windows that are, by my wife's plant station. Garage entryway door into the house. This area here is where the garage doors would be. This is a mock representation of where I'm sitting now. My stool, my desk, my cabinet. I don't have this cabinet, but I have something there. My tool cart would be here. And this is the design that I picked out. So my house is gray outside, it's gray inside, the garage is gray. I needed something to break up the gray. I'm losing my mind with gray. So in order to do that, I originally had gray middle floor with a gray border, but I said, let me get some black in here just to break things up. So we did black border, double wide red border, inner border, another black border with the, I think it's called slate gray flooring. So I think this will be about 9 feet in depth. Each tile is 15 3/4 by 15 3/4. But I'll show you those when they finally arrive. Oh no, I lost it. Okay, I'm back. Technical difficulties. My computer decided it wanted to restart all of a sudden. So yeah, good times. So back to what I was saying. The cool thing about this software is we're in 2D mode now. See, 2D. We're going to click the 3D mode, and bam, kind of get a better representation of what the design is going to look like. I'm not going to go into how this software works, but believe it or not, you can put a lift in here. You can drag in more cabinets, more windows, doors, what have you. The car that you can put on the lift is actually, in this model, an S197 Mustang. I think that's ironic and hilarious. But yeah, you really get a really good sense for what your design is going to be. And let me tell you about designs. I'm actually gonna face the camera for this. So for designs, I was going back and forth. I am not artistic. I was going back between checkered and stripe and just full red, full gray, full black, just like the designs are countless. And I knew I was gonna have a red, black or a red, gray design. There's all sorts of colors. There's light gray, dark gray, black, brown, orange, red, blue, neon green, which the neon green would be awesome had I gone with those, you know, Snap-on, Harbor Freight, neon green, Mopar colors that are available. So again, sky's the limit. Your design, you could have one of every color if you want. So it's really what you want to do. I don't think this design is going to be like face melting, ostentatious or bright or anything like that. I did play around with the checkered look and I thought it was just too busy for the garage. I really believe less is more. So, and if I didn't have an all gray garage, if my garage walls were painted white, I probably would have not went with the black and probably just did a red and gray scheme, but that's what I picked. So, it's about 9 o'clock in the morning now. FedEx probably won't get here till midday. So I will unbox today. I will install. So part of the directions are you need to unbox the Swisstrax tiles and you need to get them acclimated to the garage floor, to the atmosphere. So it's December, it's like 35 degrees outside. It's a good 50 degrees inside my garage. So my goal is to just do as much of the tile layout as I can without cutting. I also want to see how much I'm going to cut and what have you. I think I might actually hold off and do any cutting until the spring. I really want to make the fitment as precise as possible. I want the tiles to extend corner to corner, wall to wall, around the flanges of the lift, around the garage door opening, which I'll go into more detail once the tiles are here and I start laying everything out. But I don't want to lay the tiles out and leave a 1/4 inch gap to allow for expansion and contraction. In this temperature, this climate, I know the tiles are compressed. So I'd rather just wait till summer when it's an 80-degree day, 90-degree day, and I know that the tiles have expanded. That way I can cut them flush right up against the wall, nice, tight, precise fit, almost like you were doing finished woodwork. And then I know that, you know, come the following cold season, the tiles will compress and then I don't have to worry about gaps. So again, when the tiles come in, I'll do an unboxing and then, you know, you come along for the ride and we'll install these together. All right, stay tuned. All right, so I'm trying to figure out if I can split the difference between the two ends, and because what'll happen here is the 25th tile that goes here is too long, so I have to cut it off. Now, if I just do it that way, that means the stripe that's gonna go this way will not be 15.75 inches wide. It is what it is. However, I also don't want it to be like 12 inches wide. So I'm trying to figure out if I can take the offcut from this side after splitting the difference from the other side and bring that cutoff over to this side and have it still work, because there's only loops, or I'll call them loops or pegs, on 2 of the sides. So, you know, there's 2 male sides and 2 female sides, so I need to make it work. I'm afraid that in order to get this done as symmetrically as possible, I'm gonna have to buy a boatload more tiles. So God help Swisstrax if that's the case. So we'll see. Once I get this figured out, I'll probably just switch over to time-lapse mode and go from there. I actually didn't think that they were going to get delivered today. The delivery notification from FedEx was a little confusing, but lo and behold, 4 o'clock, guy was knocking on my door and I helped him offload the boxes. So pretty excited. Just need to formulate, a plan of attack. And once this plan is set, I think the rest of the installation will go in pretty quick. So we'll see what happens. So update, I'm still playing around with this. So you see this corner here, 90 degrees, have the tiles up against the foundation wall. There's going to be a gap that needs to be filled between threshold and the tile, but I guess that'll be done with off cuts. So I'm trying to continue this line straight across the garage door and over to the other corner. So to do that, I had to slide this tile here under the garage door, and then once I did that, I closed the garage door and it just opened up as a safety mechanism. So I had to reset the limits on the garage door so this closes, and now it hangs outside the garage a little bit. Which I don't mind. I mean, it might look pretty cool, but that's the only way I can get it to be even in the garage. Now, having done that, I'm probably gonna have probably close to a 6-inch gap on this back wall. They don't make, Swisstrax doesn't make half pieces, which would be awesome if they did. So I don't know. I'm hoping the offcuts can fill in this gap. Yeah, it won't be 15.75 inches anymore, but they only gave me enough to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 gray tiles up the middle. So I'm just gonna go over the manual again just to confirm, but that's where they're at. Maybe I'll call them Monday and be like, yo, your simulator software is wrong. So, maybe you wanna fix that. And the question is, well, maybe why have not other people complained about it? Well, maybe they're content with cutting off half the tile and having an uneven border. I'm not that person. So, more figuring to do. I mean, theoretically it's gonna look awesome in my opinion, but time will tell. All right, it's the next day. I'm still playing around with the groundwork for the tile. And I'm getting a little frustrated, and I'll show you why. So, again, my garage is 34 feet by 20 feet deep exactly. And the measurements of the tiles are 2 1/4 square foot, where some other companies are 1 square foot, which would have made this easier. So I'm just taking what's laid out here and I'm sliding it left, right, front, back, just to get, a balance and get it centered. And I think what's gonna happen is this is gonna be my cut side. I think I'm gonna have to take off 1 1/4 inches from this side on the black border. And that's if I don't cut this side. These are full tiles, so theoretically 1 1/4 inches, divide that by 2, I could take half of that off of this side, and that's far side. I don't want to do that. So that's a pretty busy wall where I don't think I would notice 1 1/4 inches missing, so I might just roll with that. As for this back wall here, I think there's going to be about a 5-inch gap here
So I feel like I'm going to be ordering more black tiles at some point. It is what it is. I will vent my frustrations with Swisstrax if it comes to that. I also went through all these boxes, and there's no layout guide, which I was told comes with it, and I checked my emails. Today's Sunday, so I'll call Monday to see if there is a layout guide that they could email me, because they're not in these boxes. But my other suspicion is I think there's 2 more boxes that haven't come yet, and you know, knowing my luck, they'll be in, the instructions will be in there. So I'm just gonna slowly wheel some of this crap out of the garage today to make it a little easier work. I'm gonna lay down all the floor tiles. I'm not gonna make any cuts, and we'll see what happens. I'll report back in a little bit. Okay, so today's Wednesday. I started the garage floor on late Saturday. Let's call it Sunday was the first day. So I've since finished, and I'll show you everything. Let me flip this around. It looks killer. Go a little walk around. I've been organizing in the meantime. I've been hanging stuff on the walls. Super happy. This corner here is not finished. I ran out of tiles, and I'll get into that in a minute. I got my car pushed up to the front wall as much as possible. I don't drive it, it's winter, so this is my main thoroughfare here, so I wanted to have as much room as possible. I cut around the lift here, and I did pretty good. This lift post doesn't go anywhere, so that's a permanent fixture. And I know I said I wasn't going to do my cuts until spring. Well, guess what? That didn't happen. I did all my cuts. They're nice and tight. I'm pretty happy with the way they came out. I'd like to redo that one. So I have some extra tiles on the way. I'm going to redo that. I am wall to wall, right up against the foundation with the cuts. And if I see this summer that tiles are starting to wobble or buckle, I'll cut some relief cuts and I'll make them fit. So I love my job so much, we do it twice. So again, everything looks pretty killer. Here's another corner where some tiles are missing. So I have them on the way. Now, here's what I want to get into. You'll see that this back wall here has, what is that? 1, 2, forget the door for a second. 2 squares width. Up here in the front, it's got 3 squares. So here's what happened. All right, I called, sit up this way. So I called Swisstrax, and I said to them, yo, you guys shorted me some tiles. Oh, we're very sorry to hear that. Let's punch up your order and blah, 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 blah. So they're like, all right, we need you to count your tiles. I go, oh, fine. I count the tiles. So how many red did you get? Oh, I have 150. Supposed to get 132. I'm looking at my board right now. Gray, supposed to get 126. I got 126. Black, you're supposed to get 144. I only got 132. They're like, well, Mr. Villano, well, we gave you more than you were supposed to, so let's get to the bottom of this. They're like, okay, you're supposed to be 26 tiles on the long wall and 15 on the short wall. I said, well, there's your problem right there. Your room designer algorithm sucks. So if you do the math, and I have the math here, 34 feet, it's 408 inches, right? So divide by a 15.75 inch tile, you get 25.9. Probably could have left it 0.9 of a 15 0.75 inch tile is, you know, like, I don't know, what's 90% of that? Not that much, but I wanted wall-to-wall tile coverage. So they sent me 26 tiles. Do the math for the short wall, which is 20 feet, 240 inches divided by the tiles. They only sent me 15. They're like, well, you only need 15. I go, no, I need 15 tiles and then 23% of a 16th tile. So lo and behold, I explained to them and I got the, yeah, well, what are you gonna do? They gave me 10% off of my order. So, you know, whatever, it is what it is. So I don't know that those tiles are shipped yet. So I have another 15 tiles shipped. I'll finish this corner here whenever they come. It's not really a big deal. I did order a single yellow tile for right here to signify where my other lift post goes. Unfortunately, this is a complete tile and the lift is probably more here between two tiles. So I don't want to customize and cut this out and put a tile in here that's going to constantly wiggle. So it would be nice, because this is the seam here that aligns with the other lift. You can see over there. But it's also the middle tile between the rest of the gray tile. So you have, where are we here? 1, 2, 3, middle, 1, 2, 3, middle. So we'll see how it looks. I have enough extra gray tiles where I can replace it if I don't like the way it looks. Look over my shoulder here, right there. Those are my racing stripe steps. That's right. There was extra vinyl left over from when the vinyl company did the Mustang that I decided to paint my steps black and go into the door. And remember, wipe your paws. So that's it. I've been organizing like crazy. It's winter. I won't do anything in the garage for, God, probably the next 4 months till it starts warming up again. I've just been consolidating all my stuff. Still 45, 50 degrees in here. I could sit in my little recliner, have a cup of coffee, smoke a cigar. I'm just trying to figure out now about installing hex lighting in the middle bay. I'm also debating on, should I paint the middle bay black? What do you think about that? That might be a worthwhile venture. I'll have to put some thought into that. It really wouldn't be that much work. So we'll put some thought to that and report back. How was my experience with Swisstrax? I mean, they were eager to sell. The order shipped within 2 weeks because all the colors were on back order. So, I mean, my suggestion would be just use the simulator, use the software, but do the math. And if you think you need 20, not 26, but if you need an additional tile, make sure you get some extra tiles. I know they're not cheap, but it is what it is. Anytime you do any type of flooring, there's usually like an additional 20% that you need. So, always factor that in. I did screw up a couple cuts, shame on me, in order to save some tiles, because there are hook and loop on each tile. I have 1 or 2 cold joints, but they're behind the cabinets where I'll never see them. So it's really just a floating tile. It's not locked into anything. But again, it won't get walked on. It won't get seen. It's not going to keep me up at night. So what else? I don't know. I think that's it. Long-term projects. I don't smoke cigars every day, but I'd really like some sort of ventilation exhaust, not a filter, just something that takes whatever air is in here and just pumps it outside. And I think it would be mutually beneficial because there's a lot of dust. Like my car looks clean now, it's filthy, it's covered in dust. And I think it would be cool to just kind of scrub the air every night for like an hour, just pump out, get some new air in, especially once pollen season comes. It's awful. It's the car turns yellow. It'd be good for allergies, just to, you know, just for the regular cleanliness of the air. So that's it. I'm gonna close out this video, do some editing, and do my best to get it out as soon as possible. So thanks again for watching. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments below, or you can find me on Instagram at Spectrum Auto Spa. All right, guys, take care. Be well.